Hi, my name is Joe Pulsini, and this is my presentation on Chapter 7, Managing Stress and Work-Life Balance. I chose to do this one as I'm very involved in my work as a social worker, and I feel that managing stress and work-life balance in the social work field is something that is very important and also very difficult. So I found this chapter very interesting. I took pieces of it. Someone else had done this chapter as well. We did not get to collaborate on this at any point, but I was very busy with work, so I was trying to get this, trying to actually manage and balance what I'm supposed to be doing. So, looking at Chapter 7 and what it discusses, we have to look at individual differences and actual stress. There's two types of personalities that are discussed in this chapter, Type A and Type B. Type A are extremely competitive, very devoted to work, and have a strong sense of time urgency. I find myself to be a very time urgent person. I need to have a schedule. I need to have a plan, almost to have a course of action to be taken. I don't fly by the seat of my pants, whereas my wife is the exact opposite. Type B is less competitive, less devoted to work, and has a lesser sense of time urgency. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It just shows that they might not be as willing to put in the effort at times as a Type A personality. Type A personalities tend to like to be in control, like to have more of a say in what's going on in the workplace and in other fields of their life, whether it be at home, financially, in a marriage. I don't find myself to be that way, but I do find myself to be that way at work, where I like to be. I like to put my opinions and my assertions out there in hopes that they will be heard and understood. Friedman and Roseman's initial research on Type A and Type B profile difference yielded some alarming findings and results. In particular, the one that really bothered me was that it suggested that Type A's were more likely to get heart disease than a Type B personality. Now, for someone like me, I had medical issues growing up, so coronary heart disease for a Type A personality that would definitely come from stress, from putting that extra pressure on yourself, the devotion to work, the inability to relax and sit down, the being competitive, the overworking yourself, the inability to decompress when needing, which leads us to obviously coping skills and ways that we can work through those things. But there is the difficulty of stress and work-life balance, and they can have a number of consequences if not dealt with properly. There are two different kinds. There's individual and there's organizational. Individual stressors are ones such as behavioral, psychological, and medical. Behavioral can affect your mood, how you act towards people, the way you treat someone, the way you approach a situation, just the way that you overall comprise yourself in a work situation in a stressful environment, in a courtroom setting, in a family setting, in a dinner, anywhere. It doesn't have to be work. It can be life in general, as we were discussing, managing stress and work life. Psychological, it could cause anxiety, it could cause depression, sleep issues. I have come to notice that I have a lot of, at times when I'm doing schoolwork or when I'm doing work, if I have a rough case with a family that I'm working on, I don't bring it home, but it tends to stress me out, and it can affect my sleeping habits, which then lead us to the medical issues, such as the coronary disease for a Type A personality such as myself, but also the medical piece of stressing, not eating, loss of appetite, ways that medically we can see that there are consequences of this types of stress, lack of sleep, oversleep, overtiredness. Also, I know people sometimes get confused when they hear sleeplessness and overtiredness, but they can have the same effect. Stress is a very powerful and debilitating thing, and it needs to be handled properly, or else there will be consequences as an individual, which then leads into the organizational piece, which could affect performance, and there are also signs of withdrawal and change in attitudes. With the performance piece, as an organization, we are trying to help the organization succeed. So our performance as individuals and managing our stress appropriately through communication with our supervisors, with our higher ups, and everybody else, is something that we really need to work on, because our performance overall affects the organization. How we perform daily, how we complete our tasks, how we work with our families, and in life, how we manage our money, how we manage our family, how we manage our finances, raise our kids. Those are all things that we need to work on and communicate better with the people around us. As I know, communication is key when handling stress, and I know it's hard for certain people to not communicate at times when they are stressed, and they like to hold things in, which is not a good thing. Which then leads to going through types of withdrawal. You can withdraw yourself from your family, from your work, pull yourself away from a situation, which will then allow your performance to be hindered, or your performance as a parent, your job as a parent, your role as a parent, your role as a husband, as a wife. And then that will then lead to attitude change, where you could have a negative outlook, negative attitudes on your job, your family, your finances, your overall lifestyle. There are different ways that attitudes can change. The positive thing with this is, though, that there are ways to manage stress in the workplace and through life. There are coping strategies such as exercise. Exercise is great. Going to the gym, going for a run, brisk walk on your lunch break, relaxation methods, meditation, deep breathing, time management, making sure that you are able to set aside a schedule. Like I said, I'm a type A personality. I'm very time-oriented, goal-oriented, mindful of that. Role management, establish a role, whether it be in the household. I will do this one day, I will do this the next day, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. Make sure those roles are established. Like I said, it comes back to being in control, but you have to communicate. There are support groups that you can go to for such stressing behaviors that can cause types of OCD, anxiety, to help manage stress. Organizational coping skills that can be found in your job or in your workplace are institutional programs or collateral programs, such as work groups, talking to supervisors, talking to higher ups, talking to anyone that can give you the proper skills and techniques to help. Life stressors in general, stressors is in organizational settings. They can also be influenced by events that happen in the organization, but they also can be, life stressors can be categorized in terms of life changes and life trauma. A life change is any meaningful change in a person's personal or work situation. This could be a promotion, a demotion, a raise, not getting a raise. Holmes and Ray reason that major changes in a person's life can lead to stress and eventually disease. Once again, going back to the medical piece. So communication when these stressors occur, or these disappointments, or lack of, or even the exciting pieces need to be communicated properly. Life trauma is similar to life change, but is a more narrow, more direct, shorter-term focus. A life trauma is any upheaval in an individual's life that alters his or her attitudes, emotions, or behaviors. Major life traumas that can cause stress include marital problems, family difficulties, and health problems, initially unrelated to stress. Stress, as we see, and as we looked at in this chapter, is the main focus. If we can control and communicate our stress properly with people in our life, people at our job, people that are dear to us, that we trust, then we should be able to hopefully cope and manage our stress effectively. With that being said, I would like to pose what type of stressors you all have within your jobs or in your family lives, and how do you cope with them. I know, like I said, I'm a type A personality, and I tend to try to be in control. When I can't be, it changes my mood and my attitude, and I'm working on coping with that through therapy and through medication, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I need to communicate better. As Dr. Bailey had stated in a few of the threads last week, communication is key. Communication is key in everything that we do, whether it's work, life, school. If we can't communicate, then we're not going to get anywhere. Thank you for your time. I hope there was not any distractions. I have a 4-year-old who is in the background in the other room watching a TV show, so I apologize if any other noise has been heard. Thank you for your time. You guys have a great weekend. God bless. Thank you.